sure. So I think that's a great segue. You see a threefold increase from 150 applicants the prior year to now over 500, right? So everybody's getting into this industry. There's no doubt about it. How are you going to get into the industry? That's the biggest thing. The question that I get almost all the time is, how many acres should I plant, first and foremost? What genetics should we plant too? Before we get into this a little further, I want to introduce a couple of colleagues. We've got Masa Kinney. He's actually a tissue culture background, a University of Georgia graduate. We also have Sean Rice. He's in the federal inspection industry. And these are both veterans, and we're really focused on bringing that collaborative effort to the university, just like Tuskegee here. The key is we've got to find people to work with. And that's not just growing CBD. That's the thing about it. We've got to start branching out. This is originally, going to be fiber. That's what everybody was going to get into. Hemp, and when I say cannabis, cannabis is cannabis is cannabis. I'm going to tell you a little secret that I probably shouldn't say and gets me in trouble sometimes, but look, cannabis is cannabis any way you look at it. A bulldog and a shih tzu are both dogs, right? They're just different breeds of dogs. Medical cannabis and industrial hemp are still cannabis any way you look at it. The only difference is 0.3% THC makes it industrial hemp, above 0.3 makes it medical cannabis and federally illegal. Just yesterday, the Senate Judiciary Committee passed the medical cannabis bill out of the House here in Alabama. So you guys are working towards a medical cannabis position, and that's something that everybody needs to look at, and the university should be looking at as well from a research standpoint. But before we get there, we've got to research the industrial hemp side. And what does that mean? What genetics are going to work here in Alabama? What genetics are going to work here in the South? What makes this region key to what we're doing? And I've got two answers to that. First and foremost are the people sitting in the room, the farmers. The human capital is what makes this region so amazing. And then the fertile soil that just happens to be here as well, right? So how do you work together to bring that to fruition? And that's where Veterans for Collaboration comes in, and having Cynthia on board to be able to really work with that relationship, develop that. How does the university make that happen? And if you want to talk about that and what that brings to the table for Tuskegee and what that may look like, I think that'd be a great segue.
Okay, sure. So Veterans for Cannabis was established to assist universities and colleges to collaborate with organizations like us. And then this provides organizations to come and share our skills, our knowledge, and our experience and lessons learned, because we are doing this. We do this. We have farms in Wisconsin, and we have farms in Tennessee. We have our own products. So we've already started. We've already planted the seeds. We've already trimmed it. We've done the processes. So now we want to share that knowledge with you so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And because of that, in our experience, we have an opportunity to feed and to supply your human capital. Once your human capital has an opportunity to learn from us, now they are equipped to go into other cannabis industries. And cannabis industries right now are looking for all types of resources. But you got to train the people first. You have students in your agricultural program. They have to be trained and they have to be taught. And so that makes them an opportunity to go out and get a job and get an internship. One of the other things that this does is allows collaboration across campuses. Agricultural is just not the only thing that the plant can provide. You have the chemistry of cannabis, you have the biology majors who can major in it. You also have it as a business, So this is a business for you as universities, as Tuskegee, to take this across all departments. And then you have what is dear to my heart, nursing. We have nursing, we are as a nursing profession, we see patients or whatever out in the community right now. And if you're not a part of this business, you don't know the questions to ask a patient. So they coming in, all you know to do is ask that simple question. Are you taking any illegal drugs for recreation? And that's an insult. Right. If you live in a place, it's like, I'm taking cannabis, but it's medical. So you're illegal in that state. So that's one of the other things that we are trying to bring to universities and to campuses, is to develop this curriculum core so you can put it across all their departments. And that's an opportunity for education, equip the students with what they need to go out and get jobs. One of the other things that we're very proud of is it also allows you to communicate and to collaborate with other organizations, just like what he just mentioned. Tuskegee can collaborate with University of Alabama. So education and research, and so it's one of the things I'm big on, is not reinventing the wheel. If someone's already done it before, just collaborate with someone. One of the other things that we like to bring to the table is something that we call agrotherapy, and this is something that we're very proud of. And it teaches people how to get better by focusing on food that they put in their bodies, and then it teaches you how to grow that food. And so once you collaborate with other people, you have to share this with your community because they need to get better, feel better, and then that's therapy for themselves. So we are here today to bring you collaboration and to focus on agrotherapy, core development, and human capital. And so I think the key, if you don't take anything away from what I said today, is to remember this. How can you collaborate with others to make your program better, to help not only you, but the students that are here paying tuition, and how to grow your community?
So, you know, we get the question all the time, and Patrick, you may hear this all the time too. Where's the industry going to go in next year? Where's the industry going to go in 3 years and 5 years? And, you know, I think a little forecasting can help us all with that. First and foremost, let me talk about plants in the ground. Everybody wants to get into this industry and grow CBD, right? I know we've got some phenomenal farmers here in the room and some phenomenal farmers in the state of Alabama. And the biggest issue that I had last year was I had a potato farmer come up to me and he said, I'm going to grow 300 acres of hemp next year. I'm going to do it with 4 people and I'm going to harvest it mechanically. Anybody ever seen a hemp plant grow that's 8 feet tall and how big that stalk is on the bottom? That baby's about that big around. And she's standing up tall, she's standing up 6 feet wide. You ain't gonna harvest that with a combine. I don't care who you are. You're gonna have to get out there and cut that dang thing with a machete. All right, and that's hard. That takes a lot of work. That costs money to pay people to do that, right? So get into this very small to start with. Start with 1 acre, start with 5 acres. Start with what you're good at and do well with genetic development, all right? So if you've got a section of your farm that you can grow for CBD production, and you've got 20 acres, and you've got 1 acre that's one side, and you've got another acre on the other side, grow fiber production on the other side. Because a female plant and a male plant are 2 completely different things. Both still cannabis, but they look completely different and grow completely different. And I'm telling you guys, first and foremost, I have seen 20 miles of fertilization happen in Colorado. Dry air, wind picked up the beautiful spores from that male, fertilized that female, and guess what your CBD production did? She went right down the drain because all that wonderful flower became seed. And we'll be here tomorrow. We'll actually have some hemp flower for you to see as well. So if nobody's actually seen hemp flower, we'll be able to show you what that looks like, be able to show you the full product line too, because vertical integration is a real big key that we bring to the table, and that's really how you can differentiate yourself, right? So where's the industry gonna go? What should you focus on? Really, to be honest with you, the big bottleneck right now is processing. All right, you don't have to spend $500,000 or $5 million to set up a processing facility. You can do it with $25,000, $50,000. Start small. Do this so that you start understanding the entire vertical integrated process through this. Because from seed to sell is a completely different process than seed to harvest and then to the market, right? This is a commodity. We're getting to that point. We're not there yet. We don't have the systems in place behind this. This is a broker network. You've got brokers across the country that are buying it and they're putting a point in there. When I'm saying a point, $1 or $3 or $5 up mark on what they're selling. So that decreases revenue for the end seller, that increases cost for the person who's buying that product. And the only one that's making the money is that broker in the middle who may be doing good stuff, maybe doing bad stuff, right? So work within your network. Make sure you've got good, solid relationships and collaborations put together so that you understand you're fully, when you put that seed in the ground, you've got an end opportunity for it. Don't put seeds in the ground unless you understand where that's going to in the end, because you'll be sitting just like everybody else is in this market right now, where CBD flower went from $600 a pound to now we can buy it for $20 a pound. That's a big difference. And I'll tell you guys, we got into this in 2014. So we've been in this before CBD was sexy, right? The first kilo of crude that I bought to make our product was $40,000. $40,000. The last kilo of crude that I bought was $1,500. The next kilo of crude I'm going to buy next week, $350. Almost all the same components. When I say that, 55 to 65% CBD in a crude concentrated form. We've actually got some of that too. So if nobody's actually seen the extracted crude that we make products from, we'll have that available for you tomorrow as well. So please come visit us is what I'm saying. But understand you've got to have that in place in the whole entire process. Don't plant unless you know where you're going to with it when it's produced and harvested. There's got to be some questions out there. I see a lot of people nodding, see a lot of smiles. I know somebody wants to ask a question. What? Yes, ma'am. Sure, yeah. So that's a great question. And